This is the moment everything changes for you. Not because the world suddenly shifts, not because someone finally notices. It changes because you decide to see yourself clearly. You've been chasing signals, approval, noise, applause, thinking power lived outside you. But real strength has always been quieter than that. Right now you feel it, that pause in your chest, that knowing you've ignored. This is a reckoning, a line drawn between who you've been and who you're becoming. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need command. Breathe. Feel the weight lift as you choose yourself. This is not pressure. This is clarity. Stand still for a second, then stand taller. You are done waiting. You are done asking. This choice echoes forward, reshaping how you walk, speak, decide, and lead when no one is watching you closely. Say it even silently. I am ready, right now. Chapter 1. Self-mastery is the real flex. Power is misunderstood. You've seen it displayed loudly, flashed, announced, demanded. But that isn't power. That is noise asking to be believed. Real power doesn't reach outward. It turns inward. Right now, you are learning a truth most people avoid. The strongest person in the room is not the one speaking the most. It is the one who governs themselves. Pause here. Feel that land. Self-mastery is control of your thoughts, your reactions, your impulses, and control changes everything. You felt moments where emotion tried to run you, anger pulling the wheel, fear tightening your chest, distraction whispering promises, and still, you stayed. You noticed. That awareness is not weakness. It is the beginning of command. Calm settles when you realize that nothing outside you decides who you are. Status fades, titles expire, approval shifts with the wind, but discipline remains. Discipline is choosing yourself before the world chooses for you. It is waking up aligned. It is acting with intention when no one is watching. Ego wants attention. Self-mastery wants results. You don't need to be loud. You need to be unbreakable. Notice the difference. When you chase validation, you give power away. When you build inner respect, power returns. Quietly, steadily, there is relief in this truth. You no longer have to perform. You no longer have to compare. You just have to lead yourself. Stand up, focus, feel your posture change. Not physically, internally. This is where realization sharpens. Every habit you keep is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every decision either strengthens you or softens you. There is no neutral ground. That may sound intense. It is also freeing, because now you are responsible, and responsibility is strength. You are not controlled by mood. You are not driven by impulse. You are not owned by distraction. You are learning restraint. Restraint is not denial. It is direction. You don't react immediately. You pause. You choose. That pause is power. In that pause, you separate yourself from the noise of the world. In that pause, you rise above impulse. This is why quiet strength always wins. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't announce intention. It moves with certainty. Think about the moments you admire most in others. Calm under pressure, consistency, presence. Those traits are built, not borrowed, and you are building them now. There will be moments when ego wants to interrupt, when it urges you to prove something, to react quickly, to defend loudly. Notice it, then let it pass. That restraint is growth. You are not shrinking. You are refining. This chapter is not about doing more. It is about doing better. Better choices, better focus, better control. Relief comes when you realize you don't need to dominate the room. You only need to dominate yourself. And once you do, the room responds differently. People feel steadiness. They trust consistency. They follow calm authority. This is leadership at its core. You lead yourself first. Say it internally. I am ready. Let that affirmation anchor you. You are becoming someone who cannot be shaken. Not because nothing challenges, but because nothing controls you. Breathe again. Feel the tension release. Not into weakness, into clarity. This path is not dramatic. It is disciplined, and discipline compounds. Each day you choose focus, strength grows. Each time you pause instead of react, power sharpens. You don't announce this transformation. You live it, quietly, relentlessly. This is the real flex. Not what you show, what you hold. Not who notices you, who you are when no one does. Stand steady here, because this foundation matters. Everything that follows depends on it. You are not chasing strength anymore. You are becoming it. And once you taste this control, once you feel this alignment, you won't want to go back. The noise will lose its grip, the chaos will soften, and something stronger will take its place. Command. Chapter 2. The war you've been avoiding. There is a war happening right now, not outside you, inside you. It has been quiet, patient, waiting. You have felt it in moments of hesitation, in that pull to stay comfortable, in that urge to delay what you already know matters. This war is not violent. It is persistent. It is the tension between who you have been and who you are becoming. You don't need to feel guilty about it. You don't need to judge yourself for it. Resistance is not failure. Resistance is evidence. It proves you are standing at the edge of growth. Most people never reach this point. They stay distracted. They stay busy. They stay numb. You didn't. You noticed the discomfort. You felt the friction. That awareness means you are ready to face yourself honestly. This is where leadership begins. Not with others. With you. There is a mirror in front of you now. Not glass. Truth. And in that mirror is your old self. Familiar. Predictable. Comfortable. That version knows how to survive. But survival is no longer an. You are here to evolve. The war you've been avoiding isn't about destruction. It's about direction. Your old self is not evil. It simply learned habits that once kept you safe. But safety is not the same as growth. And now growth is calling. You feel resistant because something inside you knows that staying the same will cost you more than change ever could. This is the quiet battlefield. No audience, no applause, just choices. Every day you step onto this field, sometimes without noticing. Do you act with intention? Or do you drift? Do you face discomfort? Or do you escape it? These decisions shape you. Think of an untrained muscle, weak not because it is broken, but because it has not been challenged. The burn doesn't mean harm. It means adaptation. Your inner discipline works the same way. When you feel resistance, you are strengthening something invisible but vital. This is why struggle matters. It is proof that you are stretching beyond old limits. Calm yourself here. Breathe. You are not behind. You are in process. But now comes the command. Stop running. Running looks subtle. Overthinking. Distraction. Waiting for motivation. You don't need more motivation. You need more honesty. Look at yourself. Not with criticism. With clarity. Where do you delay? Where do you hesitate? Where do you choose comfort over growth? These questions are not accusations. They are tools. Leadership demands self-awareness. And awareness gives you choice. Decide. Decide who you become when resistance appears. Do you negotiate with it? Or do you step forward anyway? Relief comes when you realize you don't need to win every moment. You just need to keep choosing alignment, one decision at a time. This war is not won in a single battle. It is won through consistency, small acts of courage, repeated. Each time you face yourself honestly, the old patterns lose strength. They don't disappear overnight. They fade through disuse, and something stronger takes their place. Confidence, stability, self-trust. You begin to feel it. A subtle shift. You are less reactive, more grounded. The battlefield grows quieter, not because the war is over, but because you are gaining control. This is inner leadership, leading yourself when no one is watching, when excuses would be easy. That kind of leadership changes how you stand, how you speak, how you decide. Others feel it, even when you say nothing. Say this now calmly. I decide who I become. Let it settle. This affirmation is not hope. It is ownership. You are not fighting your past. You are integrating it, learning from it, outgrowing it, and that takes courage. There will be days when the old self feels loud, persistent. Notice it, then choose again. Growth is not dramatic. It is deliberate. Each honest choice strengthens the new identity forming within you. You are becoming someone who does not run from discomfort, someone who uses resistance as a signal that evolution is happening. Stay present. This chapter ends here, but the war continues quietly daily. And now, you are no longer avoiding it. You are ready for what comes next. Chapter 3. Control the mind, command the life. Everything begins in the mind. Before action, before habit, before identity. What you think shapes what you tolerate. What you tolerate shapes how you live. Right now, your mind is always speaking. Sometimes clearly, sometimes quietly, sometimes in patterns you don't notice until after they've guided you. This chapter is about awareness, not judgment. not force. Awareness, because the moment you see your thoughts clearly, you stop being ruled by them. Calm yourself here. Breathe. Feel how stillness sharpens perception. Most people live in reaction. They respond before they understand. They act before they decide. That is not weakness. It is unconsciousness. And unconsciousness is expensive. Focus is power. Distraction is surrender. Every time your attention scatters, energy leaks. Direction fades. You have felt this. Starting the day clear, ending it drained without knowing why. That is not lack of effort. That is lack of control over attention. Control begins with slowing down. Slow down. Notice the moment between stimulus and response. That small space. Inside that space lives choice. Most people rush past it. You are learning to step into it. This is where command begins. Your mind does not need to be silenced. It needs to be trained, like an untrained muscle. It wanders because it has never been guided with consistency. Thought discipline is not about perfection. It is about direction. You will have thoughts you didn't choose. That is human. What matters is which thoughts you feed. Some thoughts weaken you. They create urgency where none exists. They replay old doubts. Others strengthen you. They create clarity. They anchor you to purpose. Awareness allows you to tell the difference. Breathe again. You are not your first thought. You are the one who noticed. Ease it. That distinction changes everything. As tension builds, you may notice resistance. The mind dislikes being observed. That's normal. Stay with it. Emotional regulation begins here. Not suppression, not explosion. Regulation. You feel emotion fully, without letting it steer the wheel. Anger arrives. You notice it. You don't obey it. Fear appears. You acknowledge it. You don't surrender to it. This is maturity. This is leadership of the self. You are learning to pause before reacting. That pause may feel uncomfortable at first. Stay there. Clarity follows. Breathe. In that pause, your nervous system settles. Your vision widens. You stop seeing threats everywhere. You start seeing options. This is where empowerment replaces tension. You are in control. Say it internally, not loudly, confidently. You are in control. This does not mean life stops challenging. It means challenges no longer hijack you. Your self-talk changes. Instead of panic, there is instruction. Instead of doubt, there is direction. Your internal voice becomes a leader, not a critic. This takes repetition. You will catch yourself mid-thought, mid-reaction. That is progress. Each time you notice, you strengthen the muscle of awareness, and awareness compounds. Over time, emotional spikes soften. Clarity arrives faster. You become steadier. Others feel it. They sense presence, calm authority, not because you dominate, because you are centered. This is what it means to command your life. You don't control outcomes. You control inputs. Attention, reaction, choice, these are always yours. Imagine who you become when your mind obeys you. When focus replaces chaos. When clarity replaces urgency. You move differently. You speak differently. Decisions become cleaner. You no longer chase every thought. You choose the ones worth following. This chapter does not end with mastery. It ends with commitment. Commitment to practice. Commitment to awareness. You are building mental discipline. Quietly, daily. And that discipline will shape everything that comes next. Stay here. Grounded. Ready. Chapter 4. Discipline is self-respect. Discipline has been misunderstood. Framed as pressure. As denial. As something harsh and joyless. That story is incomplete. Discipline is not punishment. It is care. It is the way you show respect for the future version of yourself. Calm yourself here. Breathe. Notice how your body responds to that idea. You don't discipline what you hate. You discipline what you value. A craftsman doesn't rush their work. They don't skip steps. They show up, even when inspiration is quiet. Not because they feel forced. Because the work matters. You are the work now. Discipline is how you treat your potential with seriousness. Most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the spark. That waiting keeps them stuck. Motivation is unpredictable. It comes and goes. Discipline stays. It does not ask how you feel. It asks who you are committed to becoming. There's a quiet power in that. The early morning understands that. Before noise, before distraction, it offers no applause, no validation, just a choice. Do you show up, or do you delay again? Every time you keep a promise to yourself, trust deepens, not trust in circumstances, trust in you. That trust becomes stability. You stop questioning whether you will follow through. You already know the answer. Again, that word carries weight. Again means consistency. Again means patience. Again means you don't quit because it's repetitive. The locked door teaches the same lesson. On the other side is progress, but it doesn't open to force. It opens to persistence, day after day, attempt after attempt. Small wins matter here. They don't look impressive at first. They don't feel dramatic, but they stack. Each small disciplined act is a brick, laid quietly. Over time, that structure becomes identity. You don't say you are disciplined. You live it. Calm turns into realization. You don't need motivation to begin. You need commitment to continue. Do it anyway. Do it when it's inconvenient. Do it when no one notices. That is self-respect in action. Self-respect says, my word matters. When you skip the work, it's not the task that suffers. It's your trust in yourself. But when you stay with it, even imperfectly, something shifts. Relief arrives. You no longer argue with yourself. You no longer negotiate every decision. You simply act. That simplicity is freeing. Discipline removes friction. It clears mental noise. You stop asking, should I? You already decided. Again, repetition is not boring. It is refining. Each time you repeat a disciplined action, you reinforce who you are becoming. There will be days when energy is low, days when progress feels invisible. Stay with it. Those are the days that matter most. Anyone can act when it feels good. Leaders act when it doesn't. That is inner leadership. You don't need external pressure. You don't need supervision. You guide yourself. His chapter is about that shift, from relying on emotion to relying on principle. Principles don't fluctuate. They anchor you. You wake up differently, not rushed, not frantic, grounded. You move with intention. Discipline shapes your posture, your presence. Others feel it, even if they can't name it. They sense reliability. That reliability begins internally. Say this softly. I rise. Let it land. You rise when you honor your commitments. You rise when you stay consistent. Not all at once. Gradually, the myth of instant transformation fades here. What replaces it is stronger. Momentum. Momentum is built through discipline. One choice leads to another. One action creates the next. Soon what once felt difficult feels natural. This is how habits form. This is how identity shifts. You are not forcing yourself anymore. You are aligning yourself. Discipline becomes less effort, more expression. Expression of self-respect. You don't chase confidence. You earn it. Confidence grows when your actions match your standard, and your standards are rising. Again, the craftsman returns to the bench. Not for praise, for progress. You do the same. There is calm in knowing you will show up. There is strength in knowing you won't abandon yourself. Stay with it. This chapter is not about intensity. It is about steadiness. Steadiness builds endurance. Endurance builds leadership. Leadership begins with self-respect, and self-respect is disciplined love in action. Hold that, because what you are building now will carry you forward. Chapter 5, Silence builds power. Silence changes you, not because it hides you, because it strengthens you. There is a kind of power that grows only when it is left alone, untouched by opinion, unshaken by reaction. Calm settles here. You don't rush to explain yourself anymore. You don't feel the urge to announce what you're building. That urge was never confidence. It was tension looking for release. Silence releases that tension properly. Most people talk before they act. They share ideas before they shape them. They announce goals before they are anchored. And every announcement leaks energy. Attention scatters focus. Opinions dilute intention. Silence protects momentum. This is not secrecy out of fear. This is discipline out of respect. You are learning to move without validation. That shift is subtle, but powerful. When you stop explaining, you stop negotiating with doubt, your own and others. The world does not need updates. It responds to outcomes. No announcement. This is where intensity sharpens. Silence creates space. Space creates clarity. In that clarity, you hear yourself more clearly. Your values become louder. Your direction becomes firm. Solitude sharpens focus. Not isolation from life. Isolation from noise. The constant pull of reaction weakens resolve. The constant need to be seen fractures purpose. You don't need witnesses for progress. Think of a blade being forged. Heat, pressure, stillness, not applause. Strength forms quietly. You are conserving energy now, not spending it on explanation, not leaking it through comparison. Energy is currency. Spend it on execution. Less explanation, more execution. This is maturity. You begin to notice how often words replace action, how often plans are spoken instead of practice. You choose differently. No debate. Debate delays. Debate invites doubt. Decision closes the door. Once the door closes, movement becomes possible. The locked door appears again here, but this time you don't knock loudly. You work silently until it opens. This kind of power feels different. It doesn't rush. It doesn't flex. It waits. And while it waits, it builds. There is a quiet confidence forming inside you. Not loud, not defensive, rooted. You don't correct every misunderstanding. You don't respond to every challenge. You let results speak. Just results. This discipline reshapes your identity. You are becoming someone who moves differently. You move with intention, with patience. You understand timing now. Not everything needs to be shared. Some things need to be protected until they are ready. This applies to goals, to growth, to vision. Silence is not absence. It is preparation. Preparation builds authority. Others begin to feel it. They sense steadiness, not because you told them, because you embodied it. That embodiment is powerful. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. When you explain less, your actions become clearer. There is relief here. You no longer perform progress. You live it. That freedom is grounding. You stop measuring yourself against reactions. You stop adjusting your path for approval. You conserve your strength. Energy flows inward now. Focused. This chapter teaches restraint, not holding back from life, holding back from noise. Noise wants attention. Power wants precision. Silence gives you that precision. You notice distractions faster. You disengage sooner. You protect your time. Time is power, and you are learning to guard it. This is controlled intensity, not explosive, sustained. Each quiet step reinforces discipline. Each unannounced effort strengthens resolve. You are not hiding. You are honing. Say it internally. I rise. Not upward in volume, upward in strength. Silence does not make you smaller. It makes you sharper. You choose when to speak. You choose when to act. That choice is authority. This chapter closes softly, but the impact continues. You walk forward without noise, without explanation, grounded, focused, because you know something now. Real power does not announce itself. It arrives fully formed. Chapter 6. Delayed gratification, infinite reward. Comfort is persuasive. It speaks softly. It promises relief now. And that promise is tempting. Calm yourself here. Breathe. Notice how often comfort asks for control. Comfort says rest now. Consume now. Avoid now. It doesn't sound dangerous. That's why it works. But comfort always. Why sends the bill later? This chapter is where patience is sharpened, where restraint becomes strength, where long vision replaces short impulse. Discomfort arrives first, not as punishment, as preparation. You feel it when you delay an urge, when you choose effort over ease, when you say no to what feels good, so you can say yes to what matters. That moment is uncomfortable. Stay there. That discomfort is not damage. It is resistance training for the mind. Most people run from this feeling. They soothe it. They distract it. You are learning to hold it. Wait. That single word carries power. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is control. When you can wait, you can choose. And choice is authority. Delayed gratification rewires you. It teaches you that desire does not command you. It teaches you that impulse is optional. That realization builds strength. Strength begins quietly. You stop reacting immediately. You pause. You assess. Hold the line. This is where restraint forms. Restraint is not denial of joy. It is protection of purpose. You are no longer trading your future for a moment of relief. That trade never benefited you. Now you see it clearly. Sacrifice gains meaning here. Not sacrifice for suffering. Sacrifice for direction. You give up what is easy to build what is enduring. That choice is intentional. And intention transforms effort into pride. At first, patience feels slow, heavy, time stretches. You wonder if progress is happening. Trust the process. Growth is not loud. It is layered. Each day you delay gratification. You strengthen your ability to lead yourself. That strength compounds. You begin to notice changes. Your focus lasts longer. Your reactions soften. You feel steadier under pressure. This is long vision forming. Long vision sees beyond today, beyond mood, beyond convenience. It sees the version of you that exists on the other side of consistency. That vision pulls you forward. Discomfort becomes familiar, not threatening. You stop labeling it as bad. You recognize it as training. Again, you delay. You choose effort, and strength responds. Pride begins to emerge, not arrogance, quiet pride, the pride of knowing you didn't give in, the pride of keeping your word to yourself. That pride is earned, and earned pride stabilizes identity. You start trusting yourself more. That trust changes behavior. You stop bargaining with temptation. You stop seeking shortcuts. Shortcuts never led where you wanted to go. Now you know. This chapter is about patience under pressure. Pressure reveals priorities. When comfort calls, what do you answer with? Wait. That response is new. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It stands firm. Hold the line. You hold it when progress feels slow. You hold it when results aren't visible yet. You understand something now. Real reward is delayed by design. Anything worth building demands time. Time filters commitment. Most quit before results appear. You don't, because you've learned to tolerate delay. That tolerance is rare, and rarity creates advantage. This is where winners are made, not in moments of excitement, in moments of restraint, when no one is watching, when nothing is guaranteed. You choose patience anyway. That choice is power. Your nervous system adapts. Urgency fades. Clarity strengthens. You stop needing immediate reassurance. You become comfortable with progress unfolding slowly. That comfort with delay is a sign of maturity. You are no longer rushed by emotion. You are guided by vision. Vision stretches time. It allows you to endure effort without resentment because you know why you're doing it. Sacrifice becomes purposeful. You give up now to gain later, and later becomes inevitable. The longer you practice delay, the stronger your discipline becomes. Discipline supports patience. Patience reinforces discipline. They work together. You begin to feel grounded, not restless, not anxious, grounded. Pride grows deeper, not because you achieved everything yet, but because you are becoming reliable to yourself. Reliability builds confidence. Confidence steadies action. Action compounds results. This is the cycle, and you are inside it now. Stay with it. This is not the chapter of comfort. This is the chapter of transformation. Near the end, intensity rises. You feel the shift. Your tolerance for distraction drops. Your standards sharpen. You no longer envy shortcuts. You see them clearly for what they are. Delay no longer frustrates you. It focuses you. This is where winners are made. Say it internally. Hold the line. You are no longer addicted to ease. You are aligned with growth. The old urge still appears, but it no longer controls you. You notice it. Then you wait. That waiting is mastery. Transformation is underway. And this is only the beginning. Chapter 7. Identity over mood. Feelings change. Identity holds. This is the turning point. Up to now, emotion may have led you. Energy decided action. Mood decided effort. That worked for survival. It does not work for leadership. Calm yourself here. Breathe. Notice the difference between how you feel and who you are. Feelings rise and fall like weather. Identity is the climate. This chapter is where you stop asking, "How do I feel today?" and start asking, "Who am I becoming?" That question changes everything. Most people let emotion decide their behavior. When they feel good, they act. When they feel tired, they pause. When they feel uncertain, they retreat. That cycle creates inconsistency. Inconsistency erodes trust, not others' trust. Your own. Emotional maturity begins when you recognize this pattern. Without judgment, you don't criticize yourself for having mood. You simply stop obeying them blindly. This is growth. The captain in a storm does not argue with the weather. They don't demand calm seas. They adjust. They hold the course. The storm is not personal. It is a condition. Your moods are the same. They are information, not instruction. You can feel tired and still act with integrity. You can feel uncertain and still move forward. You can feel resistance and still choose alignment. This is identity-based decision-making. You decide actions based on values, not feelings. That shift feels uncomfortable at first because it removes excuses, but it also removes chaos. Calm arrives when you stop negotiating with emotion. You no longer wake up asking what kind of day it will be. You decide who you will be, regardless of the day. This is where strength stabilizes. The anchor does not fight the waves. It holds. Holding is not passive. It is intentional. When pressure increases, the anchor becomes more important. So does your identity. Consistency under pressure is what separates reliability from potential. Potential is everywhere. Reliability is rare. You are choosing reliability. That choice reshapes your inner dialogue. Instead of, I don't feel like it, you hear, this is what I do. That sentence is powerful. It removes debate. Debate drains energy. Decision restores it. Stay steady. Steadiness is not emotionless. It is grounded. You still feel. You just don't surrender control. This chapter builds that discipline. You notice mood swings sooner. You name them without letting them lead. That naming creates distance. Distance creates choice. And choice creates leadership. Lead yourself. This command is simple, not easy. Leadership means showing up, even when enthusiasm is absent. It means maintaining standards. When comfort is tempting, it means honoring commitments. When excuses feel reasonable, the long road requires this mindset. Short roads are crowded. Long roads are quiet. Quiet roads demand self-trust. Self-trust grows through consistency. Each time you act in alignment with identity, trust deepens. You prove something to yourself, not loudly, privately. That private proof is powerful. It changes posture. It changes presence. Others sense it. They feel steadiness. They feel reliability. They feel leadership. Not because you announce it, because you embody it. This embodiment takes practice. There will be days when mood resists, when emotion pushes back. Notice it, then act anyway. You don't quit. Quitting is emotional. Commitment is identity-driven. This distinction matters. Quitting feels justified in the moment. Commitment feels heavy before it feels rewarding. But commitment always pays. Pay attention to that pattern. When you act based on identity, results follow later. When you act based on mood, regret follows later. You choose which later you want. This chapter is not about ignoring feeling. It is about contextualizing them. Feelings are signal, not commands. You acknowledge them, then you choose deliberately. That is emotional maturity. Maturity is calm decision-making under pressure. It does not rush. It does not dramatize. It holds course. Like the captain steering through fog, visibility is low. Confidence is high, not because the path is clear, but because the compass is set. Your compass is identity, values, standards, direction. These do not fluctuate. They anchor you. Say this internally. I am ready, not ready to feel perfect, ready to act consistently. That readiness is quiet, solid. You stop needing emotional alignment to take action. Action creates alignment. This is an important reversal. You don't wait to feel disciplined. You act disciplined, and discipline follows. You don't wait to feel confident. You act with integrity, and confidence follows. Identity leads. Emotion follows. This is the order. As tension builds, you may notice resistance. That resistance is old programming. Stay steady. You are not breaking yourself. You are restructuring. Restructuring takes patience. Each time you override mood with identity, the habit strengthens. At first it feels deliberate. Later it feels natural. That is how identity forms. Repeated behavior under pressure, consistency under pressure, is what defines character. Character defines destiny. This chapter deepens that understanding. You begin to see patterns clearly. You notice when emotion tries to bargain, when it offers excuses disguised as logic. You listen, then you decide anyway. Decision becomes faster. Internal debate shortens. You act with less friction. That reduction in friction creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence stabilizes identity. This cycle reinforces itself. You walk the long road now, not rushed, not distracted, purposeful. The long road rewards patience. It filters out those who rely on excitement. You rely on commitment. That commitment feels heavy at times, but it never feels empty. There is pride here, not loud pride, quiet certainty. You know who you are, and because you know who you are, you know how to act. even when mood disagrees. Especially when mood disagrees. This is where leadership solidifies. Not when things are easy, when they are demanding. Stay steady. You are not becoming rigid. You are becoming reliable. Reliability is strength. Others depend on it. But more importantly, you depend on it. You stop surprising yourself with inconsistency. You start surprising yourself with follow-through. That surprise builds self-respect. Self-respect reinforces discipline. Discipline supports identity. Identity guides action. The loop closes. You are no longer driven by emotion. You are guided by values. This chapter ends with clarity. You feel grounded, not because everything feels good, because everything feels aligned. Alignment creates peace. Even under pressure, even in uncertainty, you don't quit, you don't drift, you lead yourself forward. The road continues. And now, you walk it with steadiness. Chapter 8, Pressure reveals the leader. Pressure changes everything, not because it is cruel, because it is honest. Pressure does not create character. It reveals it. Calm yourself here. Breathe. Notice how pressure feels in your body. The tightening, the urgency. This sensation has followed you before. In moments of expectation, in moments of responsibility. Pressure is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Pressure arrives when something matters. Most people misread it. They treat pressure like danger, something to escape. But pressure is a test, and tests are invitations. This chapter reframes pressure completely. You are not here to eliminate stress. You are here to respond to it differently. Leadership is not proven in comfort. It is revealed under weight. Think of pressure like gravity. It pulls on everything equally. What bends shows weakness. What holds shows strength. You are learning to hold. The build begins quietly. Small moments of stress, minor inconveniences, unexpected delays. These are training grounds. How you respond here shapes how you respond later. When pressure increases, old habits surface first. Rushing, reacting, defending. Notice them, then slow down. Breathe. That breath interrupts panic. It creates space. Space gives you choice. Choice is leadership. Staying calm under stress is not talent. It is practice. Practice in noticing your body. Practice in regulating your breath. Practice in choosing response over reaction. The calm you build now becomes automatic later. This is resilience forming. Resilience is not toughness alone. It is adaptability. You don't harden. You stabilize. You begin to feel pressure differently. Not as threat, as signal. A signal that attention is required. You stop personalizing stress. You stop dramatizing difficulty. You assess. Assessment replaces panic. As intensity rises, you feel the urge to rush. That urge is familiar. Resist it. Stand tall. Posture matters, internally and externally. When you straighten, your nervous system responds. Clarity improves. Breathing deepens. This is not coincidence. Leadership is physical as well as mental. You lead with presence. Presence steadies others. Under pressure, people look for cues, not speeches. They look for composure. When you remain calm, others calm down. This is responsibility. Being reliable means being predictable under stress. Not explosive, not erratic. Reliable. Reliability is earned slowly, through moments when pressure arrives, and you do not collapse. You don't escalate. You don't disappear. You stay. Staying is powerful. Many leave when things get heavy. Not physically, emotionally. They check out. They disengage. You are choosing differently. You stay present. Presence is leadership. As pressure builds, your inner dialogue matters more. What you tell yourself shapes what you project. You shift from questioning to instructing. Breathe, focus, proceed. Short commands calm the mind. You don't overwhelm yourself with complexity. You simplify. One step, then the next. This is how leaders move through chaos, not by solving everything at once, by maintaining direction. Direction under pressure. Create. As trust, others begin to rely on you, not because you promised, because you proved. Pressure reveals patterns. When things go wrong, do you blame? Do you freeze? Or do you adjust? Adjustment is strength. It requires humility and clarity. You are learning both. Intensity rises here. Expectations increase. Consequences sharpen. This is where many fold, not because they are incapable, because they never trained for this feeling. You are training now. Each moment of pressure is a repetition. Each calm response strengthens your capacity. Resilience grows quietly. You don't notice it day to day. But one day you realize what once overwhelmed you no longer does. That realization is relief. Relief does not mean absence of pressure. It means confidence in handling it. You stop fearing stress. You trust yourself under it. That trust is powerful. Being the one others depend on is not about control. It is about consistency. People lean toward steadiness. Steadiness is rare. You are becoming steady. This chapter builds internal leadership. Leadership that does not need authority. It earns it. Under pressure, you don't raise your voice. You lower it. Lower voices command attention. You don't rush decisions. You pause briefly. That pause communicates confidence. Others notice. They feel safer. Safety increases cooperation. This is influence. Influence earned through composure. As intensity peaks, remember this. Pressure is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present. Present enough to think. Present enough to breathe. Present enough to choose. Stand tall. This posture signals readiness, not aggression. Readiness. You are prepared for difficulty. You do not flinch at responsibility. You don't need to know everything. You need to remain grounded. Grounded leaders make better decisions. Decisions made under calm carry less regret. This chapter does not promise ease. It promises capability. Capability under pressure is what separates leaders from followers. Followers wait for relief. Leaders create it. They create relief by stabilizing the environment. You are learning how. As pressure passes, notice the quiet pride, not excitement. Stability. You handled it. That matters. Each time you handle pressure well, your identity shifts slightly. You begin to see yourself differently. Not fragile. Capable. Not reactive. Composed. This is relief earned through effort. You no longer dread pressure. You respect it. Respect removes fear. Fear clouds judgment. Clarity remains. This chapter closes with understanding. Pressure will return. That is guaranteed. But so will your composure. You have trained for this. Breathe. Stand tall. You are becoming the one others look to when things get heavy. And that role fits you now. Chapter 9, The New Standard. There comes a moment when adjustment is no longer enough. When improvement is no longer the goal. What's required now is a new standard. Not temporary. Not conditional. Permanent. Calm yourself here. Breathe. Feel the weight of that word. Standard. A standard is not a wish. It is a line you do not cross backward. Up until now, you may have negotiated with yourself. Just this once. Just today. Just until things feel easy. Those negotiations felt harmless. They were not. They slowly trained you to accept less than you were capable of. That era ends here. This chapter is about drawing a line in the sand. Not aggressively. Decisively. A line that says, this is the minimum I accept from myself. And once that line is drawn, you don't revisit it when you're tired. You don't erase it when things get hard. You rise to it. Raising your standard changes your behavior before it changes your results. At first, it feels uncomfortable because your environment hasn't caught up yet, but your identity has. You start noticing things immediately. Old habits feel out of place. Old excuses sound hollow. What once felt normal now feels misaligned. That discomfort is not confusion. It is clarity. Mediocrity becomes obvious once you stop tolerating it, not in others, in yourself. This is important. This chapter is not about judgment. It is about alignment. You are aligning your actions with who you know you are capable of becoming. Non-negotiables form here. Non-negotiables are not rules imposed from outside. They are agreements you make with yourself. Agreements rooted in self-respect. You decide what is no longer acceptable. Late excuses, half effort, inconsistent focus. You don't shame yourself for the past. You simply stop repeating it. That is maturity. The line in the sand does not shout. It does not explain itself. It simply exists, and you live according to it. Once a standard is raised, every decision becomes clearer. You don't debate as much. You don't drift. You measure actions against your standard. If it aligns, you proceed. If it doesn't, you stop. That simplicity creates momentum. Self-trust begins to grow here. Self-trust is built when your actions consistently match your values. Every time you honor your standard, you reinforce that trust. And trust stabilizes confidence. Confidence is not loud. It is settled. You walk differently when you trust yourself. Your posture shifts. Your pace changes. You don't rush to prove. You don't scramble to recover. You move with certainty. This chapter is where consistency becomes expected, not heroic. You no longer celebrate basic follow-through. You require it. That expectation raises performance automatically. Like an upgraded operating system, your internal settings change. Old glitches disappear. Old delays fade. Not because life is easier, because you respond differently. The upgrade is internal. You don't announce it. You don't explain it. You operate at a higher level quietly. This is consistent excellence, not perfection. Consistency. Excellence is not doing everything right. It is doing the important things reliably. You show up prepared. You finish what you start. You correct mistakes without drama. Drama wastes energy. Standards conserve it. You no longer argue with reality. You adapt. Adaptation is part of excellence. You stop blaming conditions. You start optimizing response. That shift is powerful. It returns control to you. As tension builds in this chapter, you may feel resistance. Raising standards threatens comfort. Comfort will push back. It will remind you of old patterns, old justifications. Notice them, then return to your line. The line does not move. This is who you are now. Say it internally. This is who you are now. Not aspirational, declarative. Identity follows standards. When you demand more of yourself, you become more capable of delivering it. Act like it. That command is not harsh. It is grounding. It reminds you to align behavior with belief. Belief without action is fantasy. Action without belief is unstable. You are building both. Each day lived at your new standard rewires expectation. Soon what once felt demanding feels natural. That is the power of permanence. Temporary effort exhausts. Permanent standards sustain. You are no longer relying on bursts of discipline. You are operating from structure. Structure creates freedom. Freedom from indecision. Freedom from inconsistency. You know what is required. That knowledge simplifies life. Choices narrow. Focus sharpens. You spend less time debating and more time executing. Execution compounds results. Results reinforce standards. The loop strengthens. As pressure appears, your standards hold. You don't lower them to cope. You rise to meet them. That response builds pride, not arrogance. Integrity. Integrity is alignment over time. Time reveals truth. Over time, others notice. Not because you demand recognition, because your behavior is reliable. Reliability attracts trust. Trust creates opportunity. Opportunity rewards preparation. You are prepared now. This chapter is about permanence. No more temporary motivation. No more conditional effort. You have set the bar, and you respect it. Respect changes how you speak to yourself. Internal dialogue becomes firmer, clearer. You don't insult yourself. You instruct yourself. Instruction replaces doubt. You correct course quickly, without emotion. This is operational maturity. You operate yourself well, like a system designed for performance. The upgraded operating system does not revert easily. Old bugs don't run anymore, not because they disappeared, because they're no longer compatible. That incompatibility is progress. You don't feel tempted by mediocrity. It simply doesn't match your setting. This is a powerful place to stand. From here, growth accelerates, because effort is no longer wasted on internal conflict. You have resolved it. The line is drawn. This chapter ends with clarity. You are not negotiating anymore. You are executing. This is who you are now. Act like it. Chapter 10, The Unseen Work. There is a kind of work that changes everything and receives nothing in return. No applause, no recognition, no immediate reward. This is the unseen work. Calm yourself here. Breathe. This chapter is quiet by design, because the work it describes happens where no one is watching. Most people chase moments that are visible. They want proof. They want reaction. But mastery is built elsewhere. It is built in repetition, in patience, in showing up when nothing exciting happens. Longevity is not created by intensity alone. It is created by consistency without witnesses. You are learning to love effort, even when no one sees it. That love is not emotional. It is principled. You do the work because it aligns with who you are. No cameras. The absence of attention tests commitment. When there is no praise, no feedback, no immediate outcome, you discover what actually drives you. If effort disappears without reward, It was never rooted deeply. You are rooting yours now. This chapter strips away performance. There is nothing to prove here, only something to build. The grind no one applauds is where skill sharpens. Repetition teaches nuance. Patience teaches timing. Together they create mastery. Mastery is not dramatic. It is quiet competence over time. You return to the work again and again, not because it feels new, because it works. No shortcuts. Shortcuts offer speed at the cost of stability. They collapse under pressure. You are building something that lasts. Longevity requires restraint. You pace yourself. You don't rush progress. You respect the process. Respect changes how you move. You stop looking for quick wins. You invest in durable ones. That investment compounds slowly. At first, it feels like nothing is happening. This is where most quit, not because they lack ability, because they lack patience. Patience is trained here. Each day you show up without reward. Your capacity grows. You learn to tolerate monotony, to stay present in repetition. This is rare, and rarity creates advantage. Quiet intensity dominates this chapter, not explosive effort, sustained effort. You don't burn out. You build in. There is a rhythm to unseen work. Wake, prepare, execute. No excitement required. Execution becomes routine. Routine becomes reliability. Reliability becomes identity. You begin to notice a shift. You don't wait to feel inspired. You start because it's time. Time becomes the cue. This removes friction. You conserve mental energy by eliminating debate. Just work. That phrase is grounding. It cuts through distraction. When questions arise, you return to the work. When doubt appears, you return to the work. Work clarifies. It reveals what needs improvement, what needs repetition. Feedback arrives through effort, not speculation. You trust this process now. Trust is built through exposure. Each time you work without reward, you prove something to yourself. You are not dependent on motivation. You are guided by commitment. That commitment deepens. You begin to take pride in invisibility, not because you dislike recognition, because you no longer need it. Needing less makes you stronger. Others may not understand this phase. They may question your pace, your silence. You don't explain. Explanation is unnecessary. When direction is clear, no cameras. This is personal. The unseen work is where discipline matures. Early discipline needs structure. Later discipline becomes habit. Habit becomes automatic. You don't struggle to begin. You simply begin. That ease is earned. You earn it through repetition. Repetition teaches endurance. Endurance allows mastery to unfold. Mastery is not perfection. It is reliability at a high level. You perform well, even when conditions are dull. That ability separates professional from amateurs. Amateurs rely on excitement. Professionals rely on standard. You are operating professionally now. The work continues, even when progress is subtle. Especially then, this chapter is long, because mastery is slow. There are no shortcuts here, no hidden tricks. Just work. You show up. You refine. You repeat. That repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity creates confidence. Confidence stabilizes effort. Effort compounds results. This loop strengthens over time. You become patient with yourself, not lenient. Patient enough to allow growth to occur naturally. You stop forcing outcomes. You focus on inputs. Inputs are controllable. Effort, attention, consistency. These are yours. The unseen work demands honesty. There is no audience to impress. Only truth. Truth about where you are. Truth about what needs improvement. That honesty accelerates growth. You correct quietly. No announcement. No drama. Adjustment becomes routine. Routine creates stability. Stability supports longevity. Longevity allows mastery to emerge. This is the path. It is not glamorous. It is effective. You are learning to enjoy the simplicity. Work, rest, repeat. This rhythm steadies you. You no longer rush phases. You respect timing. Respect keeps you grounded. You are no longer in a hurry to arrive. Arrival is inevitable. When effort is consistent, that certainty is calming. It removes anxiety. You trust the accumulation of small actions. Each repetition adds weight. Weight strengthens structure. Structure holds under pressure. This is how unseen work pays off. Not suddenly, inevitably. There will be moments when progress feels invisible. Remember this chapter then. Remember that mastery is built when no one is clapping. That is why it lasts. Say this internally. I decide who I become, not based on attention, not based on praise, based on action. That decision anchors you. You continue working, even when results lag. Lag is part of the process. You don't panic, you persist. Persistence outlasts talent. Talent without persistence fades. Persistence builds quietly. You are persistent now. That persistence reshapes your identity. You stop seeking shortcuts. You stop envying speed. You respect depth. Depth takes time. Time rewards patience. This chapter is not exciting. It is essential, because everything visible later is built in silence, in repetition, in unseen effort. Just work. This is the foundation others never see, but always benefit from. And you are laying it, one deliberate step at a time. Chapter 11, Becoming Unrecognizable. There comes a moment when you look back, and something feels unfamiliar. Not the world. You. Calm settles first. You notice it quietly, the way old habits no longer fit, the way old reactions feel outdated. What once felt natural now feels misaligned. This is not loss. This is evolution. The old identity did its job. It carried you through earlier chapters. It protected you when you needed protection. Honor that. But growth requires release. You cannot become more while gripping what you've outgrown. Letting go is not rejection. It is recognition. Recognition that you are no longer the same person who needed those patterns. This chapter is reflective at first. You remember who you were, the decisions you made, the limits you accepted. There is no shame here. That version did what it could with what it knew. You don't criticize the past. You detach from it. Detachment creates space. In that space, something new forms. You begin to realize that you no longer introduce yourself the same way internally. Your inner dialogue shifts. You don't say, I try. You say, I do. That difference matters. This chapter is about authorship. You stop living as a reaction to circumstances, to expectations, to history. You become the author of your next chapter. Self-authorship is quiet power. It doesn't announce itself. It asserts itself through choice. Each choice confirms identity. You feel the pull of the past sometimes. Familiar comfort, predictable patterns. Notice it, then release it. Release is not dramatic. It is deliberate. You choose not to repeat what no longer serves you. That choice is powerful. The tone begins to shift here. From reflection to strength, you realize something important. The past no longer defines you. It informed you. It shaped you. But it does not command you. You are no longer acting out old stories. You are writing new ones. This is where detachment deepens. You stop explaining yourself to people who knew the old version. Not out of resentment, out of clarity. You don't need agreement to evolve. Evolution does not require permission. You feel stronger now, not louder, stronger. Your decisions carry weight. You choose alignment over familiarity. That choice creates distance. Distance from old expectations. Distance from old limits. That distance is necessary. Transformation requires separation. You cannot become unrecognizable while trying to remain understandable to every version of your past. This is not arrogance. It is direction. You begin to move with certainty. Your values are clearer. Your standards are firmer. You no longer debate your growth. Debate is gone. What replaces it is decisiveness. Decisiveness feels calm. It doesn't rush. It doesn't hesitate. It simply moves. This chapter builds power gradually. You start noticing how different your reactions are. Old triggers don't hit the same. Old fears don't carry the same weight. You still feel emotion, but it doesn't dominate. You've changed, and change becomes undeniable. You don't need proof. You feel it internally. Your posture shifts. Your presence stabilizes. People may comment. They may sense something is different. You don't explain. Explanation is unnecessary. You know. Self-authorship means you no longer outsource your identity. You decide who you are becoming. Each action is intentional. Each decision reinforces the new identity. This is powerful, but it also requires courage, because the new version of you does not fit neatly into old boxes. That can feel lonely, not isolating, clarifying. You realize that growth changes your environment. Some connections fade, some dynamics shift. You don't cling. Clinging delays evolution. You move forward respectfully. This chapter is not about rejection. It is about alignment. Alignment creates peace. Peace does not mean stagnation. It means coherence. Your actions match your values. Your values match your direction. That coherence is grounding. The emotional tone strengthens now. You stop questioning whether you're doing enough. You know you are, because your effort is consistent. Your standards are firm. You trust yourself. Trust eliminates second guessing. Second guessing kept you small. Now you act. You don't wait to be understood. You move in alignment. Alignment is self-validating. As power builds, you feel momentum. Momentum does not shout. It pulls. You feel pulled forward by who you are becoming. The past loosens its grip. You stop referencing it as often, not because you deny it, because it no longer defines you. You are not trying to prove you've changed. You are living it. This is where the chapter becomes decisive. You realize you cannot go back, not because the past was bad, but because you've outgrown it. Outgrowing is irreversible. You don't fit into old RNS anymore. They feel restrictive. Your capacity has expanded. With expansion comes responsibility. You are responsible for continuing forward. No half steps, no hesitation. The new identity demands consistency, and you are capable of it. Rapid escalation begins here. The pace quickens, the tone sharpens. You feel it. Keep going. Momentum builds when you don't pause to reflect mid-stride. Reflection happens after movement. Right now you move. Don't stop. Stopping invites doubt. Stopping reopens old doors. Those doors are closed for a reason. You are not curious about who you used to be. You are committed to who you are becoming. This is it. This moment marks separation. You no longer identify with old limitations. You no longer tolerate old behaviors. You have evolved beyond them. The decision is complete. You are unrecognizable now. Not to others first, to yourself. You catch glimpses of it in how you handle pressure, in how you respond to difficulty. You are calmer, more direct, more grounded. This chapter seals transformation. You don't feel the need to announce it. You embody it. Embodiment is final. There is no argument with embodiment. It speaks through action. The old identity does not disappear overnight, but it no longer leads. You lead now. This chapter ends with certainty. You know the path forward. You don't romanticize the past. You don't fear the future. You stand firmly in the present. Rooted, decisive, becoming unrecognizable is not about losing yourself. It is about finding yourself beyond old definitions. And once found, you don't let go. You continue. Keep going. Don't stop. This is it. Chapter 12. You are the standard now. This is not an ending. It is an arrival into permanence. You feel it now. Not excitement, not urgency, certainty. Calm yourself here. Breathe. You are no longer chasing greatness. You are no longer reaching outward, hoping to grasp it. Greatness has become internal. It lives in how you decide, how you respond, how you hold yourself when nothing is happening and when everything is. This chapter is embodiment. Everything you have practiced, refined, and endured has led here, not to a finish line, but to a way of being that does not turn off. You are the standard now. A standard does not ask permission. It does not wait for agreement. It exists. Others may notice. Others may not. That is irrelevant. Your authority is no longer borrowed. It is internal. Internal authority does not need validation. It does not rely on circumstance. It is steady. You feel it when you walk into a room, not because you dominate attention, but because you are settled within yourself. Presence speaks before words do. Leadership by presence is quiet power. You don't rush to fill silence. You don't explain yourself unnecessarily. You listen. You observe. And when you speak, your words land, not because they are loud, because they are aligned. Alignment is strength. This chapter reinforces that alignment. You have learned discipline. You have practiced restraint. You have embraced patience. Now those qualities operate automatically. You don't force yourself anymore. You trust yourself. Trust changes how you move through the world. You are intentional now. You wake with clarity. You act with purpose. Even rest has intention. Living with intention does not mean rigidity. It means awareness. You choose deliberately. Deliberate choices create stability. Stability creates confidence. Confidence stabilizes leadership. Leadership is no longer something you perform. It is something you express. You lead through consistency. Others notice how you handle pressure, how you respond to uncertainty. You don't panic. You don't overreact. You assess. You decide. Decision-making has become cleaner. You don't second-guess endlessly. You don't revisit choices unnecessarily. You move forward. Move forward. That command is not rushed. It is grounded. Moving forward does not mean ignoring reflection. It means not living there. Reflection informed you. Now action defines you. This chapter is about living the identity you've built. Not proving it, not defending it, living it. You are becoming the person who wins. Not occasionally, consistently. Winning here does not mean defeating others. It means mastering yourself. Mastery shows up in the small moments, when no one is watching, when no reward is immediate. You do what aligns anyway. That alignment compounds. Over time, it becomes visible, not flashy, reliable. Reliability creates influence. Influence attracts responsibility. Responsibility sharpens leadership. This cycle is active now. You feel it. Internal authority feels different from ambition. Ambition reaches. Authority anchors. You are anchored. You don't need to prove your worth. You know it through action. This knowledge is calming. It removes urgency. It removes comparison. You no longer measure yourself against others. You measure yourself against your own standard. That standard is clear. You don't negotiate it when tired. You do lower it when challenged. You rise to it. Stand firm. Firmness is not stubbornness. It is clarity. You know what matters. That knowledge simplifies life. Fewer distractions. Fewer unnecessary conversations. Your energy is focused. Focus is power sustained. You don't scatter yourself anymore. Scattering diluted your impact. Now you concentrate effort. Effort becomes effective. Effectiveness reinforces confidence. Confidence stabilizes presence. Presence leads. This chapter reflects the full integration of who you are becoming. There is no split between intention and action. They are aligned. Alignment creates peace. Peace does not mean passivity. It means coherence. You are coherent now. Your actions match your values. Your values match your direction. This coherence is felt by others. They may not articulate it. They may not understand it, but they respond to it. People follow clarity. They trust steadiness. You offer both. Leadership by presence does not demand attention. It attracts respect. Respect is earned through consistency. Consistency is your strength. You have walked the long road. You have stayed when others quit. You have waited when others rushed. That patience shaped you. Now you move with confidence that is not hurried. You are comfortable with progress unfolding over time. This comfort with time is mastery. You no longer need immediate reassurance. You trust the process because you are the process. This chapter reinforces self-authorship. You write your life through daily decisions. No one else holds the pen. You do. That realization is empowering. You are not reacting to life. You are directing it. Direction does not eliminate obstacles. It provides context for them. Obstacles become information. Information improves strategy. You adjust. You continue. Move forward. This command echoes now with confidence. Not pressure. You are not being pushed. You are choosing. Choice is authority. Authority stabilizes leadership. Leadership becomes natural. You don't seek it. You embody it. Others feel safe around grounded people. Safety increases trust. Trust deepens influence. Influence expands impact. Your impact is growing quietly, not because you demand it, because you deserve it through consistency. This chapter is about permanence. You are no longer experimenting with who you are. You know. That knowing is subtle. It does not shout. It steadies. You walk differently now. Your posture reflects certainty, not arrogance. Certainty. You are comfortable with responsibility. Responsibility no longer feels heavy. It feels appropriate. You are capable of carrying it. This is growth realized. Growth does not announce itself. It settles. Settling creates foundation. Foundation allows expansion. You are expanding now, not outward first. Inward. Your capacity has increased. You can handle more complexity, more pressure, without losing clarity. This is leadership maturity. You don't react impulsively. You don't withdraw unnecessarily. You stay engaged. Engagement is strength. You are present in conversations, present in decisions, Presence amplifies influence. You no longer multitask your life. You focus fully on what matters. This focus creates excellence. Excellence is not perfection. It is reliability at a high level. You deliver consistently. Consistency builds reputation. Reputation follows behavior. You don't manage perception. You manage action. Action speaks. This chapter brings relief. Relief from striving. Relief from self-doubt. Not because challenges end, because your response is refined. You trust yourself under pressure. That trust changes everything. You stop questioning your capacity. You know you can handle what comes. That knowing reduces fear. Fear clouds judgment. Clarity remains. This chapter affirms your identity. You are becoming the person who wins. Not once, repeatedly. Winning here means alignment. It means integrity between thought and action. Integrity stabilizes character. Character determines direction. Direction shapes destiny. This is the chain you are now part of. You are no longer passive in it. You lead it. You lead yourself. And by leading yourself, you influence others without effort. Influence flows from example. You don't instruct constantly. You demonstrate. Demonstration is powerful. It bypasses resistance. Others see what is possible. Possibility inspires action. Action creates momentum. Momentum builds movement. Movement changes environments. You are part of that change now, not as a disruptor, as a stabilizer. Stability is underrated. Stability creates growth that lasts. You offer stability through consistency. Consistency through discipline. Discipline through self-respect. Self-respect through alignment. Alignment through identity. The loop is complete. This chapter stands as embodiment. You are no longer learning these principles. You are living them. Living with intention feels natural now. You plan deliberately. You execute calmly. You review honestly. Honesty accelerates improvement. Improvement continues indefinitely. There is no finish line here. Only refinement. Refinement sharpens impact. Impact deepens purpose. Purpose anchors effort. Effort sustains growth. Growth evolves identity. This evolution does not stop. You have built a system within yourself that supports continuous improvement. That system does not depend on mood. It operates on principle. Principles endure. You are anchored to them. Stand firm. This command echoes differently now, not as instruction, as confirmation. You are already standing firm. Firm in values. Firm in direction. You don't sway with every opinion. You listen. You decide. Decision is clean. Clean decisions reduce regret. Regret loses influence. You move forward with confidence. Move forward, not hurried, not hesitant, purposeful. Purpose simplifies complexity. You don't need to know every outcome. You need to maintain alignment. Alignment ensures progress. This chapter affirms leadership by presence. Presence is not loud. It is attentive. Attentiveness creates connection. Connection builds trust. Trust enhances collaboration. Collaboration multiplies impact. Your presence facilitates this naturally. You don't force it. It happens because you are grounded. Grounded people create space for others. Space encourages contribution. Contribution improves outcomes. This is leadership realized. You are not managing people. You are influencing environments. Environment shapes behavior. Your environment now reflects your standards. You have curated it intentionally, not controlling. Intentional. Intentionality is strength. You choose what you allow. You choose what you engage with. These choices protect focus. Focus preserves energy. Energy fuels execution. Execution compounds results. This chain is active now. You are aware of it. Awareness enhances control. Control stabilizes leadership. Leadership becomes effortless when internal. This chapter closes the transformation, not by ending effort, by establishing identity. Identity endures. You are no longer chasing validation. You are living alignment. Alignment is self-validating. You feel settled, not complacent. Settled in purpose. Purpose directs future growth. You are becoming the person who wins. This statement is no longer motivational. It is descriptive. You win by showing up consistently. You win by maintaining standards. You win by leading yourself. You win quietly. Quiet wins accumulate. Accumulation builds legacy. Legacy is not about recognition. It is about impact over time. You are creating that impact now. Daily. This chapter does not rush you forward. It grounds you where you stand. You are ready for what comes next. because you are anchored in who you are. You lead, not someday. Now, stand firm. Move forward. You lead. Final conclusion. You've reached a place most never do. Not by luck, by choice. This journey was never about becoming louder, faster, or admired. It was about becoming grounded, consistent, unshaken. You learned to govern yourself, to pause instead of react, to act from identity, not impulse, to choose discipline as self-respect, to value silence, to wait when others rushed, to stand firm under pressure. Each chapter stripped away noise. Each decision strengthened clarity. Each repetition built trust within you. Now you don't search for direction. You embody it. Self-mastery is no longer a concept. It is how you wake, how you decide, how you move through difficulty without losing yourself. This path does not end. It stabilizes. Challenges will come. Pressure will return. But you meet them differently now. You are steady. You are prepared. You are intentional. You no longer ask who you might become. You decide. Say it quietly. I rise. Feel the certainty in that. Not excitement. Alignment. You are ready. Not because everything is easy. Because you are capable. Self-mastery is a lifelong practice. A daily choice. A standard you uphold even when no one is watching. And that is your advantage. So move forward with clarity. Protect your focus. Honor your standards. Lead yourself without compromise. When doubt appears, return to discipline. When pressure increases, return to breath. When distraction calls, return to silence. This is your work. This is your path. Say it again with ownership. I decide who I become. And then act accordingly. Today, tomorrow, consistently. Stand firm in who you are. Move forward with intention. This is not motivation. This is identity. You are becoming the person who wins. And you live it now. Carry this standard forward daily, patiently, relentlessly, and let your life reflect the work you've done inside yourself. You made it to the end. That already says something about you. Most people stop early. You stayed. If this audiobook challenged you, if it sharpened your focus, if it reminded you of who you're becoming, then don't let this be a one-time moment. This channel exists for people who choose growth, discipline over comfort, clarity over noise, progress over excuses. If you want more audiobooks like this, more mindset training, more leadership, more inner strength, subscribe, like this video so it reaches the people who need it, and share it with someone who's ready to rise but hasn't found the words yet. Stay consistent, protect your mind, and keep moving forward. This is only the beginning.